يا من قرب من خطرات الظنون وبعد عن لحظات العيون، وعلم بما كان قبل أن يكون، وبعد عن لحظات العيون بغاد أمنه وأمان، وعلم بما كان قبل أن يكون، وبعد عن لحظات العيون بغاد أمنه وأمان، وعلم بما كان قبل أن يكون، وبعد عن لحظات العيون بغاد أمنه وأمان، وعلم بما كان قبل أن يكون، وبعد عن لحظات العيون بغاد أمنه وأمان، وعلم بما كان قبل أن يكون، وبعد عن لحظات العيون بغاد أمنه وأمان، وعلم بما كان قبل أن يكون، وبعد عن لحظات العيون بغاد أمنه وأمان، وعلم بما كان قبل أن يكون، وبعد عن لحظات العيون بغاد أمنه وأمان، وعلم بما كان قبل أن يكون، وبعد عن لحظات العيون بغاد أمنه وأمان، وعلم بما كان قبل أن يكون، وبعد عن لحظات العيون بغاد أمنه وأمان، وعلم بما كان قبل أن يكون، وبعد عن لحظات العيون بغاد أمنه وأمان، وعلم بما كان قبل أن يكون، وبعد عن لحظات العيون بغاد أمنه وأمان، وعلم بما كان قبل أن يكون، وبعد عن لحظات العيون بغاد أمنه وأمان، وعلم بما كان قبل أن يكون، وبعد عن لحظات العيون بغاد أمنه وأمان، وعلم بما كان قبل أن يكون، وبعد عن لحظات العيون بغاد أمنه وأمان، وعلم لا حين باعدتني ذنوبي عن دار الوصال، فبئس المطية التي امتقت نفسي من غواها، فواغا لغى لما سولت لغى ظنونها ومناها، وتبا لغى لجرأتها على سيدها ومولاها. إلهي قرعت باب رحمتك بيد رجائي، وغربت إليك لاجئا من فرط أهوائي، وعلقت بأطراف حبالك أنامل ولائي، فاصفح اللهم عما كنت أجرمته من زللي وخطائي، وأقلني من صرعة ردائي، فإنك سيدي ومولاي ومعتمدي ورجائي، وأنت غاية مطلوبي ومناي في منقلبي ومثواي. إلهي كيف تطرد مسكينا التجأ إليك من الذنوب هاربا، أم كيف تخيب مسترشدا قصد إلى جنابك ساعيا، أم كيف ترد ظمآنا ورد إلى حياضك شاربا. كلا وحياضك مترعة في ضنك المحون، وبابك مفتوح للطلب والوغول، وأنت غاية المسؤول ونهاية المأمول. إلهي هذه أزمة نفسي عقلتها بعقال مشيئتك، وهذه أعباء ذنوبي درأتها بعفوك ورحمتك، وهذه أهوائي المضلة وكلتها إلى جناب لطفك ورأفتك. فاجعل اللهم صباحي هذا نازلا علي بضياء الهدى وبالسلامة في الدين والدنيا، ومسائي جنة من كيد العدا ووقاية من مرديات الهوى. إنك قادر على ما تشاء، تؤتي الملك من تشاء وتنزع الملك ممن تشاء، وتعز من تشاء وتذل من تشاء، بيدك الخير إنك على كل شيء قدير. تولج الليل في النهار وتولج النهار في الليل، وتخرج الحي من الميت وتخرج الميت من الحي، وترزق من تشاء بغير حساب. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك. من ذا يعرف قدرك فلا يخافك، ومن ذا يعلم ما أنت فلا يهابك. ألفت بقدرتك الفراق وفلقت بلطفك الفلاق، وأنرت بكرمك دياجي الغساق، وأنغرت المياه من الصم الصياخيد عذبا وأجاجا، وأنزلت من المعصرات ماء ثجاجا، وجعلت الشمس والقمر للبرية سراجا وهاجا، من غير أن تمارس فيما ابتدأت به لغوبا ولا علاجا. فيا من توحد بالعز والبقاء وقهر عباده بالموت والفناء، صل على محمد وآله الأتقياء، واسمع ندائي واستجب دعائي، وحقق بفضلك أملي ورجائي. يا خير من دعي لكشف الضر والمأمول في كل عسر ويسر، بك أنزلت حاجتي فلا تردني من سني مواهبك خائبا. يا كريم يا كريم يا كريم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على خير خلقه محمد وآله أجمعين. ثم اسجد وقل: إلهي قلبي محجوب ونفسي معيوب وعقلي مغلوب وهوائي غالب وطاعتي قليل ومعصيتي كثير، ولساني مقر بالذنوب، فكيف حيلتي يا ستار العيوب ويا علام الغيوب ويا كاشف الكروب. اغفر ذنوبي كلها بحرمة محمد وآل محمد. يا غفار يا غفار يا غفار برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصل اللهم على محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله جميعا. Inshallah, we'll be reciting from Ayah 216 to Ayah 224 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Inshallah, then we'll do the reflections. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كتب عليكم القتال وهو كره لكم وعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم وعسى أن تحبوا شيئا وهو شر لكم والله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون. يسألونك عن الشهر الحرام قتال فيه يسألونك عن الشهر الحرام قتال فيه قل قتال فيه كبير وصد عن سبيل الله وكفر به والمسجد الحرام وإخراج أهله منه أكبر عند الله والفتنة أكبر من القتل ولا يزالون يقاتلونكم حتى يردوكم عن دينكم إن استطاعوا ومن يرتد منكم عن دينه فيمت وهو كافر فأولئك حبطت أعمالهم في الدنيا والآخرة وأولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون. إن الذين آمنوا والذين هاجروا وجاهدوا في سبيل الله أولئك يرجون رحمة الله والله غفور رحيم. يسألونك عن الخمر والميسر قل فيهما إثم كبير ومنافع للناس وإثمهما أكبر من نفعهما ويسألونك ماذا ينفقون قل العفو كذلك يبين الله لكم الآيات لعلكم تتفكرون في الدنيا والآخرة. ويسألونك عن اليتامى قل إصلاح لهم خير وإن تخالطوهم فإخوانكم والله يعلم المفسد من المصلح ولو شاء الله لأعنتكم إن الله عزيز حكيم. ولا تنكحوا المشركات حتى يؤمن ولأمة مؤمنة خير من مشركة ولو أعجبتكم ولا تنكحوا المشركين حتى يؤمنوا ولعبد مؤمن خير من مشرك ولو أعجبكم أولئك يدعون إلى النار والله يدعو إلى الجنة والمغفرة بإذنه ويبين آياته للناس لعلهم يتذكرون. ويسألونك عن المحيض قل هو أذى النساء لكم فأتوا حرثكم أن شئتم وقدموا لأنفسكم واتقوا الله واعلموا أنكم ملاقوه وبشر المؤمنين. ولا تجعلوا الله عرضة لأيمانكم أن تبروا وتتقوا وتصلحوا بين الناس والله سميع عليم. آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. Inshallah, we'll do the reflections from Ayah 216. First and foremost, condolences on the martyrdom anniversary of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi afdal as-salawat wa tahiyyat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those who learn from his school, the school of Rasulullah and his progeny, salawatullah wa salamu alayhim ajma'een, and make us amongst those who follow their teachings. After we learn, we follow, inshallah. When we reflect on the ayat of the Holy Quran, we also follow, inshallah. كتب عليكم القتال, ayah 216, he says, it is written upon you that you fight in the cases of jihad, in the cases of fighting those who are fighting you, fighting those who are creating mischief on earth. It is an obligation that you fight. However, it is something that you do not like. وَهُوَ كُرْهٌ لَكُمْ. It is something that you detest. This is natural. It is natural for people to be natural when in a physical world, when we have not ascended above and beyond the physical world that we're living and the material world that we're living. Fighting exposes us to loss of life, loss of wealth, or even loss of health. All of that could happen in a fighting situation, in a war. Therefore, you detest it. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then sets a very, very general rule, not just applicable in this situation, but in every situation, that perhaps you may dislike something and it's best for you, and you may like something and it's not good for you, it is bad for you, it's evil for you. And God knows and you do not know. In the physical world, sometimes we detest medicine because it may not taste good, or we may detest hard work or workout. Naturally, we like ease, sit back and relax. However, we know that in the physical world, certain things that may not be the most desirable, they are the best for us, health-wise, physically. Similarly, spiritually, many things that we may think that they're not the best thing for us, they may be the best, and vice versa. Here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sets a rule, a general rule, that whenever He gives a verdict, whenever a decision comes from Him, whenever a ruling comes from Him, just like in the world of the takween, which is the formation of the universe and the formation of this world and our lives, just like in there He knows best, and we shall not question anything that He has decided. Why is the sun so? Why is the moon so? Why is summer? Why do we have summer? Why do we have winter? All of these things He decreed, He knows best, and this is something we just take it, and the more we submit and try and live with it, the better we live. And the more we question and try and defy the nature, in fact, the more we are exposing ourselves to harm. Similarly, in the world of spirituality, in the world of the legislative rulings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have to also submit, and the more we submit, the more we benefit. Then the next one is again asking about war during the sacred months. يسألونك, they ask you. In this surah we have many times where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to the Prophet, they ask you, Ya Rasulullah, therefore say to them. Here they ask you about the sacred months. Say to them, قُلْ قِتَالٌ فِيهِ, should they fight in them? Say, fighting in them is a great sin. However, those who stop people from going to Masjid, from traveling towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spiritually, صَدًّا عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, and those who do not believe in those months, and those who referring to mushrikeen, who often would even delay those months. They know that these are sacred. They followed these traditions from the time of Ibrahim ala nabina wa alayhi salam. Nonetheless, they would use the concept of nasi, where they delay 1 month. They say, okay, we're going to fast this month and we'll do the next month. Instead of Rajab being sacred, we'll do it, for instance, Sha'ban, and so on, which is kufrun bihi. Well, Masjid al-Haram, they are also doing kufr in the Masjid al-Haram. And they also have وَإِخْرَاجُ أَهْلِهِ مِنْهُ أَكْبَرُ. They got the people of Masjid al-Haram and the people of Mecca, they kicked them out of their homes, and they created fitna. These are greater things. وَالْفِتْنَةُ أَكْبَرُ مِنَ الْقَتْلِ. They created mischief. Mischief is what causes injustice and what causes many killings and many deaths and many, in fact, other losses in the human society. The human society will become diseased and problematic. Therefore, these are greater. In fact, وَالْفِتْنَةُ أَكْبَرُ مِنَ الْقَتْلِ. Mischief is greater than killing. Why? Because it causes many, many deaths. And fitna is also interpreted as the shirk, being ascribing partners for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and doing shirk, because ultimately these things lead to injustice, which is the opposite of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intended for us. Therefore, وَلَا يَزَالُونَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ. They will continue fighting you until they turn you away from your religion. And here the concept of irtidad is introduced. وَمَن يَرْتَدِدْ مِنْكُمْ. Those who turn away from the religion after they have accepted and die in that situation, وَيَمُتْ وَهُوَ كَافِرٌ, then their a'mal is nullified. حَبِطَتْ أَعْمَالُهُم. This is irtidad and nullification also here of a'mal, that the opposite of the compensation or the making up. For instance, if you do some good deeds, it wipes out certain bad deeds. If you pay kafara, it wipes out certain bad deeds. And if one disbelieves, then it wipes out the good deeds. حبطت أعمالهم في الدنيا والآخرة. Even in dunya, they want, they will be suffering the consequences, and obviously in akhirah. Then he says, on the other hand, those who do not turn away, we have the other extreme, those who stay very firm in their faith, in الذين آمنوا وَالَّذِينَ هَاجَرُوا, even when they had to migrate and leave their homes for the sake of keeping their faith, and even when they had to fight, وَجَاهَدُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. They continued with their faith despite all the difficulties. They are وَجَاهَدُوا فِي سَبِيلِ أُولَٰئِكَ يَرْجُونَ رَحْمَةَ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. On the one hand, he gave the example of those who are the people of hell. Immediately he reminds us that he is the most forgiving and the most merciful, and he has the best rewards. يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ. The next question is regarding why there are 4, in fact, issues in this ayah. Khamr, intoxicants; Maysir, the gambling or gambling tools. Then also the questioning about where they spend their wealth, or where do they give the sadaqah, in other words. And the last one is regarding the orphans. He says, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ, regarding intoxicants and regarding gambling. He says, they قُلْ فِيهِمَا أَذًى إِثْمٌ كَبِيرٌ. There's a lot of sinfulness in it and a lot of harm in it. Ithm is what is harmful. And harmful, most importantly, in the spiritual journey, in the journey of purification, in the journey of betterment of mankind, in
the journey of insan ascending above the material things that he is and above animals. He says in that journey, this is a great harm. And it has benefits here, referring to the most significantly or the most obvious is that some people make money out of it. Some people may say, well, we do benefit from these, from selling it, or even some may claim that there are health benefits and so on, at least when it comes to khamr. Some have that, made that claim. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِثْمُهُمَا أَكْبَرُ مِنْ نَفْعِهِمَا. Definitely the harm is way bigger and outweighs the benefits. And this is the first stage of forbidding khamr and maisir. Some of you may have read these ayat and have learned that there are 3 stages in the forbidding of the khamr and maisir. Initially, this ayah was not as harsh or not as strict. The second stage is when it became haram for people to come and pray while under the influence of intoxicants. And finally, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says it is filth, it is the action of shaitan, therefore you stay away from it. And then he says, they also ask you about what they, where they spend or what they spend. ماذا ينفقون? Then say al-afu. Al-afu here, pardoning is one meaning of afu, which could be one of the meanings given to this ayah. In other words, what's more important than spending in terms of wealth and giving some charity is to forgive and to pardon. This is one meaning. However, in the riwayat also we are told afu means balance. And also another one that it means what is anything that is more than what you need is what you should give as infaq. Then he says he will show you his ayat, his signs, so that you may reflect both in dunya and akhirah. A believer should reflect both in the matters of dunya and akhirah. And in fact, they go hand in hand. Dunya is the mazra'a, the place of planting for akhirah. And akhirah is the greater one of the two. Therefore, one has to be conscious of both dunya and akhirah. They ask you about the orphans. Say, islahul lahum khayr. They say that after the ayat regarding the orphans were revealed, that do not consume the wealth of orphans, and those who consume it, it'll be like fire in their stomachs. After some of these ayat were revealed, people were confused and were worried, and some did not want to have anything to do with the orphans. Some, in fact, they were trying to get them to not live with them to that degree. Why? Because they were fearful of having basically spending some of their wealth or somehow oppressing them and being in the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore this ayah was revealed. قُلْ إِصْلَاحٌ لَهُمْ خَيْرٌ. You need to, it is best that you try and better their circumstances, not that you leave them. وَإِن تُخَالِطُوهُمْ فَإِخْوَانُكُمْ. And if you have to spend some of their wealth in order to take care of them, then treat them as your brothers. Not that you abandon them because you're fearful of spending some of their wealth. If you don't have, you have to spend. If you want to feed them and you don't have the means to feed your family and the orphans, then you can consume, but consume reasonably from their wealth. Wallahu ya'lamu al-mufsida min al-muslih. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows who's trying to do good for them and who's trying to use or abuse their situation. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَأَعْنَتَكُمْ. If he wanted to, he would have made things difficult for you. Then in ayah 221, some rules start in this ayah and the following ayat regarding women, marriage, women in general, and some of the rules in terms of even when one can come to their wives and so on. First of all, وَلَا تَنْكِحُ الْمُشْرِكَاتِ حَتَّى يُؤْمِنْ. They say that during the situation of the moving from Mecca and after the migration, there were some that were wondering if they were allowed to marry some woman that they may have liked. In fact, there was a specific instance that the woman was a mushrik, and the believer, she offered herself and to marry. She asked them, one of the believers who had migrated, she knew him from before, to marry her. He said, I would not until I asked the Prophet, and he came. Therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed, وَلَا تَنْكِحُ الْمُشْرِكَاتِ حَتَّى يُؤْمِنْ. Those who are ascribing partners for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you do not marry them, male or female. Here the ayat continue and explain. And then even if وَلَا أَمَةٌ here, a female from even if she is not from from your class, if they had, obviously the ones who came from wealthy families, perhaps the Arab families and so on, and normally people would look up to those and think that the rest are not the best. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no, the amatun mu'minatun khayrun min mushrikatin. She is better than the non-believer. وَلَوْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ. Even if you like their looks, even if you like their wealth, whatever you like in them, it is better that you marry the believer. And the same, وَلَا تُنْكَحُ الْمُشْرِكِينَ حَتَّى يُؤْمِنُوا وَلَا عَبْدٌ مُؤْمِنٌ خَيْرٌ مِّن مُشْرِكٍ وَلَوْ أَعْجَبَكُمْ. Why أولئك يدعون إلى النار والله يدعو إلى الجنة والمغفرة بإذنه. The principle is that you look beyond the liking. You like the physical looks, you like the wealth or material things. Nonetheless, if you look beyond that and you look into Akhirah, one is leading a life towards hellfire, and while Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is inviting people toward paradise and towards forgiveness. Then they ask you about mahid. This ayah, in fact, it is narrated that people asked because in Jahiliyyah they had certain principles. Jews, they had certain principles, and the Christians had certain principles. The believers were confused in terms of women during their periods. What is their situation? Arabs and some of the people of Jahiliyyah, they considered women as being almost like affected by the devil. They're so impure that they cannot cook during that time. They cannot sit and eat with them during that time. They won't allow them to be near them at all. And similarly, the Jews, they considered that sitting with them makes you impure. On the other hand, the Christians did not even see any restrictions in terms of women during their periods. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed in the answer that it is harm, it has harm, that mahid. Therefore, do not come to your wives in terms of intimacy, nothing else. And therefore, we don't have any other rules in terms of not sitting with them, not eating their food, and so on. We don't have that in Islam. فَإِذَا تَطَهَّرْنَ فَأْتُوهُنَّ مِنْ حَيْثُ أَمَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those who oft return to him and those who they purify. Then he says, نِسَاءُكُمْ حَرْثٌ لَكُمْ فَأْتُوا حَرْثَكُمْ أَنَّا شِئْتُمْ. This is an honorable state that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives, that it is women who help continue the life, and the mankind continues through them. They are the ones who carry the next generation. this is the harth part. فَأْتُوا حَرْثَكُمْ أَنَّا شِئْتُمْ. Come to them after the ruling that, after they are pure, then whichever way or whichever time. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ. However, be conscious of your duty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The next ayah introduces the concept of people swearing and using the name of God for certain things, especially in terms of their wives. Some swear that I will never come near you, and so on and so forth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, do not use the name of God and just bring it up in your trivial matters or in your even nonsense. In some cases, in the narration, we are told that somebody swore that he would never reconcile between people because sometimes we try and reconcile between husband and wife, and then or between siblings or whatever, and sometimes we end up suffering some consequences. People start they become friends and you become the bad guy. Nonetheless, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encourages us to always reconcile and not to use his name for swearing. وَلَا تَجْعَلُوا اللَّهَ عُرْضَةً لِأَيْمَانِكُمْ أَن تَبَرُّوا وَتَتَّقُوا وَتُصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ, that you reconcile between the people. وَاللَّهُ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. الحمد لله رب العالمين. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد. Inshallah, if there are no comments or questions.